Excellent. So thank you very much and welcome to our presentation this evening. I'm very happy to see all of you here. And once again, I'm seeing familiar names. So this is wonderful from the presentation that I hosted last week, I believe. So as you come in, I just want to give you a little bit of an overview of what we will be doing today. So first of all, I am joined by a wonderful team of people who will make sure to give you the information you need so you feel empowered after attending this webinar. This webinar is going to last about, well, it will last 45 minutes. The presentation will last about 20 to 25 minutes, and then we will open up the floor for any questions that you may have. I'd like to ask you to please hold on to your questions because more likely the answers to those questions will be discussed through the presentation. And if not, again, please make sure that you do write down your question in the chat box, okay? So as we give students just one more minute to log in, we actually want to know a little bit more about you. We want to know where you guys are joining us from. So can you please go ahead and in the chat box, let us know where you're joining us from? Because again, we want to make sure that we address you properly. We want to know if we should wish you a good evening or a good morning, depending on the part of the world you are in. So please go ahead in the chat box, write down what country you're joining us from. Welcome, Max from Hong Kong, Max from Paris, thank you. We have Max from Paris, Vancouver, Elena, welcome. We have Jay from China, welcome. Boston, our neighbors down south, and Maryland as well, Richard, thank you for joining us. San Diego, we have Ella, thank you. Alana from Maryland, Carter, Chicago, welcome. We have students from California, Istanbul as well, Alp. We have Jupiter, from California, Paris, the Netherlands. Vicky, welcome from Kuwait. I'm so happy to see a lot of students from other parts of the world. So we will make Mauritius, Liam, thank you. So we want to make sure that we make it worth your time. So again, we have a lot of information to share with you. Welcome all of you once again. Next slide, please. Okay, so again, welcome to McGill's virtual space, and we look forward to seeing you on campus in our beautiful city of Tiohtià:ke, also known as Montreal, and of course, to our campus. So let's go ahead and take a second to talk about our campus. So our campus, I would like to acknowledge that prior to our 200 years worth of history, our First Nations actually occupied the land our campus is located on, which is contributed to our history and that of our city, Tiohtià:ke, Montreal, and of course, Canadian history. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and now you will have the opportunity to get to meet us. So in our next slide, you will be able to take a look at all of our participants, and I'm going to hand it over to Kayla.
Great, thank you so much, Patricia. And welcome everyone. It's lovely to meet you all virtually. We're really happy to have you here, and we're happy to welcome you to our faculty and to McGill in general. I'm joined today by Rachel Shafts, who is a career advisor in the Engineering Career Center, my colleague Amanda Young, who's a recruitment manager, who will tell you a little bit about academic and extracurricular activities in our faculty, and Asa Goyal, who's the president of the Engineering Undergraduate Society. I am Kayla Follensby. I'm the Associate Director of the Engineering Student Center, and I'm very happy to tell you a little bit more about our services and our faculty, and we will look forward to taking your questions more towards the end of the presentation. So the Faculty of Engineering really has what we think is a pretty ambitious vision, which is to help students become self-reliant engineers who are going to be the leaders of tomorrow, who are globally minded, who think in terms of large world problems and aim to still solve or contribute towards solving some of the wicked problems that the world is facing today, and defining the path of discovery in engineering and technology research, and who are going to be leaders making innovative and socially responsible contributions to their society. So in your trajectory at McGill over the next 4 years, these are the kinds of things that you can expect to be working towards as you go through your classes. You're part of a very competitive group of people, of really, really strong students. So if we go to the next slide, you'll see that every year we, oh no, this is a different slide. The Faculty of Engineering, we are composed of 6 departments and 2 schools in the faculty. So we're really lucky in engineering that we have 6 engineering disciplines as well as 2 schools of design. So our engineers can work with architects and urban planners and thinking about design and how their technologies impact society. So you've probably selected a program in one of our 6 departments, so bioengineering, chemical engineering, civil engineering, electrical and computer engineering, in which the software engineering program sits, mechanical engineering, and mining and materials engineering. There are a number of related faculties and programs outside of the Faculty of Engineering, including bioresource engineering, and then also Faculty of Medicine and the School of Computer Science. So there are lots of different engineering related fields and programs and courses at McGill. So you are part of an incredibly strong and really long history of students who have excellent academic track records. We admit a very small fraction of the applicants to our programs each year. We admit between around 750 students or so every year, every fall. And our current enrollment is about 3,400 students. And just over a third of it are international, and about a third of our students are female, which is a higher proportion than many other schools of female students. And we're always looking to recruit and grow our student our female student population. So I'm the director of the Student Center, and this is a look at our front counter. We offer student affairs advising, career advising, and other student support mechanisms. So if you're looking for resources on campus, this is the place to go to start, at least. We have student affairs advisors who, actually, if we go to the next slide, our student affairs advisors offer academic advising for all of our undergraduate students through drop-in and regular appointments every day, in person or remote now. And they can help you manage things like academic performance, selecting majors, workload management, graduation requirements, scholarships, as well as giving you advice and information about opportunities like summer research, exchange and study away, and experiential learning, as well as other kinds of workshops and lots and lots of different kinds of support. Our engineering peer tutoring service is a fantastic free service for all engineering students. It's run, we co-manage it with the Engineering Undergraduate Society. Peer tutors are senior students who have taken a course before and done really well in it, and they tutor students that are taking that course. So the focus is really on first-year courses, math at all levels, and there are group sessions, one-on-one advising sessions, and exam review sessions. And it's a fantastic resource to help you especially acclimate to the university setting. You are all coming out of high school or cégep, and you may not have had a lot of in-person instruction over the last couple of years. You may be nervous about what it's going to be like going into university in the fall with big classes and being back to in-person teaching and assessment. And EPTS would be a great first place for you to meet with some of your colleagues and really get embedded into how to study and do well and excel in your academic program. We also in MESC, in the Engineering Student Center, as well as offering student affairs advising, and my colleague Rachel is going to tell you about career advising soon. We're really lucky that we have a local wellness advisor, and our Elwa, as we call her, Virginie Yeba, she's a social worker, and she promotes and helps students adjust and find resources to support their mental health. She meets with students one-on-one. She offers workshops with groups. She organizes peer sessions, and she's really a bridge to care. She helps to identify the kinds of resources that you might need for managing a number of different situations: stress and anxiety, relationship issues, other kinds of things that come up. So we're really happy to have Virginie with us. I think we now have Rachel, who will tell you all about, you may not be thinking about a career yet, you're just thinking about starting your undergraduate program, but eventually you will be moving on into a career, and Rachel will tell you about the services of the Engineering Career Center.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kayla. And it is really nice to meet, I guess, virtually meet everyone. So welcome. And congrats, obviously, for being here. As Kayla said, it is really quite a select group, and to support you on your way. And all I can say is don't let the word career in the title of our center scare you or intimidate you, because we're here really to support you with way more than just finding a job after you graduate, but that is one of the things we do. So both during and after your time as an undergrad in engineering at McGill, you have free access to all of our services, which I'm going to briefly tell you about, and then tell you where you can find info once you are here. So at the Career Center, I'm a career advisor. We have a number of other career advisors in our office, and we all provide everything from one-on-one advising to organizing sessions, tours, linking you with opportunities outside of McGill. This slide just has a few of the things that we do, mainly in the one-on-one advising, like helping you prepare a CV, a cover letter. Maybe you've never done an interview before. A number of us, prior to working in the Career Center, all had jobs working in recruiting or human resources. So we're more than happy to share that experience and info with you. We organize 2 job fairs every year. The last few have been virtual, but we're really excited that the fall 2020 event should be back, hopefully in person, and then probably some kind of virtual component, but stay tuned for that. So on the next slide, there's just a little bit more about what I do in my office. So like I said, we do lots of one-on-one advising, so meeting with students in person in our lovely office that Kayla showed you the slide of, also virtually. So we're going to be keeping that just because some students like the flexibility, but obviously in person will be an option in the fall, which is great. We support a lot of the different student societies, so helping them find alumni, find people who are working in the various fields that you can go into once you graduate. So stay aware of all of these events. And we also work with different professors because we appreciate you may not always be looking for a job in a company right away. Maybe research or academia is more the path that you're looking for. And so we also organize events there. And in the next slide, just a little bit more. So at McGill, in engineering, there's both co-op programs that have required work experience. So if you've been accepted into mining, materials, software, there will be someone specifically dedicated to your co-op program to help you find the jobs, find the work terms that you need to satisfy the requirement to graduate. For all the other programs, we strongly encourage you to seek out internships or opportunities to understand a bit more about jobs in industry, and we help you with that. And you can get recognition for these work experiences on your academic transcript through the engineering internship program. So I know this is a lot of detail, but all of this is on our website, which I think you will have a link to, or we'll make sure that that is shared with you. But all this to say, we strongly encourage you to get experience related to the different fields of engineering before you graduate. It will give you a really strong advantage, not just in terms of the experience that you get yourself, but the confidence that you gain and the contacts that you make, the network that you start to gain, which is really beyond valuable. So I think on the next slide, it's the, so Also related to the Engineering Career Center and the Student Center as a whole is the Empower program or Empower initiative. And my colleague, April Batty, is the advisor of the Empower program. She's a great person to contact. Experiential learning as a concept is really just developing yourself outside the classroom and developing your skills, your knowledge. And that can be done in so many different ways through the Faculty of Engineering. I know my colleague, Amanda, is also going to talk about opportunities like studying abroad and research. So all of this falls under that umbrella of experiential learning or learning outside the classroom, and programs like Global Challenges, How to Change the World, Engineer Your Path, and more. These are just a few, can help you, develop your skills and also gain valuable experience that you'll then add to your resume. And like I said, gain network and contacts as well. So I think that's it from me, but I'll be happy to answer any questions at the end.
Thank you, Rachel. So hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Young. I am a student advisor and recruitment manager for the Faculty of Engineering. And I'm going to talk to you briefly about some topics related to academics as well as extracurriculars. So first off, some of you are probably very curious about what your curriculum is going to look like as a student in the Faculty of Engineering and the course selection process. So every department and school in our faculty has what's called course curriculums. You can see an example here on the screen. This is a mechanical engineering, and it's a CEGEP entry student. So that means a student who's coming from Quebec. There's also versions for non-Quebec students as well. So every program has these curriculums, and they're basically a roadmap to your entire program. It sets out the courses that you have to take each term in your degree program. And it's a huge resource. It's one of the most important resources for you to consult throughout your program. One key thing that you might be concerned about is transfer credits. So these will impact your course selection process. So those of you who are coming outside of Quebec, maybe you have transfer credits from AP courses, maybe you're thinking about taking a placement exam, maybe you've done some A levels. Those are the sorts of things that will impact your curriculum. And we offer a lot of support to help students with the course registration and selection process. So registration happens in, I believe, June. So around that time, you're going to be inundated with emails from our office telling you about your registration dates, how to map out your curriculum, how to integrate transfer credits into your curriculum as well. So keep an eye out for those emails once we reach, the June period or the May, I guess, the month of May. All of those emails will come to your McGill email address as well. And for full links to all of these curriculums, so this is obviously just an example of a mechanical engineering program, but the full links to everything about transfer credits, curriculums, they can all be found in the FAQ handout that has been uploaded to, I believe Patricia has uploaded it to the event. So please be sure to look through that carefully for more information related to your course selection and registration and all the different topics that we've discussed tonight. So next, I'm going to talk about transferring within engineering. This is another common question that we get for students who've been newly admitted or who have been offered admission. Maybe you've been accepted into a program that perhaps wasn't your first choice. So for example, you've been accepted into civil engineering, but you really want to be studying in mechanical engineering. And you're thinking about potentially transferring. So these are what's called intra-faculty transfers, and they are possible. However, they're not guaranteed, and they are competitive, and they're contingent on CGPA and space in our respective programs. And these transfers basically happen through an application process, and you're able to apply after your first year of study has been completed, after you have successfully completed 27 graded credits. And there are other eligibility requirements as well that can be found on our website. And again, those links are all in the FAQ document. And also just a quick note that the School of Architecture, if you're looking to transfer into the School of Architecture, they have a different process. So that process is also available on our website. Also, you might be interested in adding a minor program to your major. We have lots of different minor programs that are engineering specific, as well as ones that are offered by faculties outside of engineering. Students could add up to, I believe it's 2 or 3 minors to their program. And this allows you to have exposure to fields outside of your major program, whether that's depth in a different field of engineering or perhaps a different field unrelated to engineering. So some examples of our in-house engineering minors would be aerospace engineering, biomedical, software engineering, environmental engineering, nanotechnology. So there's lots of different options to choose from within our faculty. And then outside of engineering, there are many, many options as well. This is just a few examples of some popular minors that our students pursue. So physics, chemistry, economics, computer science, management. These are all options available to you. Any minor that's offered at McGill is open to you. These are just some of the most popular ones that our students pursue. I'm also going to talk to you a little bit about experiential learning. So Rachel and Kayla both touched on this. Essentially, experiential learning is a term that you'll probably hear quite frequently throughout your degree program. It basically means all the things that happen outside of the classroom. So your academics are obviously a huge part of your degree program, but just as important is what happens outside of the classroom and the experiences and the exposures that you see that are non-academic and happen outside of a classroom. So I'm going to talk to you specifically about student research and student exchange. So student research in our faculty primarily at the undergraduate level primarily happens through our SURE programs. So summer undergraduate research and engineering. So our flagship SURE program happens here at McGill. And every summer, it's a 16-week paid research traineeship. You get hands-on lab experience with a McGill professor, an engineering professor, and their grad students. It's designed to help you gain exposure to research, as well as develop your soft skills like presentation skills, public speaking, and so on and so forth. Each summer, we have about 130 to 150 awards or positions. It's competitive and it's prestigious, but it's an excellent opportunity if you're thinking about research or graduate studies. We also have SURE International. So that is a program that provides basically travel stipends, funding for students who are pursuing research abroad. So international research positions that happen outside of McGill. So our students, they secure research positions on their own abroad, and then they apply for faculty funding through SURE International. Typically, students get between $3,000 and $8,000, depending on where they're going and their expenses and any sort of external funding that they might have. Some of the top destinations for our students would be Germany, Switzerland, China, as well as the US. So, I mean, you can go anywhere in the world, but those are probably, I would say, the most popular for our students. And finally, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about exchange. So exchange is a very exciting prospect for most students. It allows you to study abroad internationally at one of our academic partners. And you can go in fall or winter or both, depending on what your interests are. McGill maintains academic partnerships with 162 universities across 40 different countries. The most popular destinations, I would say, for our students are probably Singapore, Hong Kong, Switzerland, Australia, and the UK is also quite popular as well. We have a dedicated exchange advisor in our office at MESC. So her name is Christine. She helps students throughout the exchange process, the application process, selecting courses, obtaining transfer credits. So there's lots of support within our faculty for students who are trying to pursue an exchange term. And again, in the FAQ document, all of the links to exchange resources are included in that FAQ document. So that's about it for me. I'm going to hand it over to Asta now. She is the Engineering Undergraduate Society president, and she's going to talk to you even more about all the ways that you can get involved in our faculty. So, thanks.
Hi, everyone. I'm Asta, and I'm super excited to talk to you about the EUS today. So all engineering and architecture undergraduate students are EUS members, and we have a lot to offer. So firstly, what is the EUS? We are one student council, but we have a lot of little teams that work within us. So we have over 15 clubs, over 10 design teams, and over 20 committees. And kind of overseeing everything is the executive committee and the board of governors. So on the next slide, you'll see the current executive. So there's 8 of us, and we all run different committees that help foster a sense of community and deliver some services and events for all of our members. In addition to being a part of the Engineering Undergraduate Society at large, you will also be a part of your own departmental societies. So this will correspond to your program. And these societies are really here to cater events for you guys in terms of maybe career paths that you're interested in that are relevant to your department, and also just to foster a smaller sense of community within your year and within other people studying the same thing as you. Okay. And some of the stuff we do is we have academic events and social events. And then we also have committees, clubs, design teams that students can join to explore further interests. We also have some services that we run on campus and provide opportunities for students to attend competitions and conferences. So I'll get into those a bit more in detail now. So to start, in terms of academics, we co-run the Engineering Peer Tutoring Center or service with MESC, which Kayla just talked about. So this is a great resource for all first-year students. And now we're expanding to higher level courses as well, just to come in and get some one-on-one tutoring. It's absolutely free. And it's a really useful tool that you can use if you're having trouble with some classes or just need some clarification. And in addition to EPTS, we also have Tech Week and Tech Fair that allow you to learn more about industries and kind of different career paths that you could explore. Amazing. We also have a lot of social events that happen. So as incoming students, you will be a part of Orientation Week and can choose to take part in Frosh, which is very exciting. In addition to O Week, we also have Engineering Week, which is kind of like all of the departments battling against each other for a trophy. It's super fun and a great way to meet people across the faculty. Other events that we have are the Open Air Pub, which is kind of a large gathering that happens on campus at the beginning and at the end of the academic year. We have EUS Sports, Blues Pub, which is every Friday, and many more social events that you can ask me about later. Besides social events, we have a lot of committees. So these committees are really the core of the EUS, and they are providing you with all of these events and resources that you can attend. So we have our O Week committee, which plans Orientation Week. We also have Junior Council. Junior Council is committed to providing events and services targeted for first year and incoming students. So they are really there to help you meet students in your year and also host events that might be of interest to you. We also have other committees like Equity Committee, Graduation Committee, and so many more that you can get a part of. We also have clubs. So the EUS is approximately 15 to 20 clubs, and these clubs really allow you to explore interests in addition to your classes. So you might be interested in AI, and you can join the McGill AI Society, or you might be interested in business, and you can join the National Organization of Business and Engineers at McGill. So there are lots of clubs that allow you to explore auxiliary interests, and they can also foster a great sense of community. We also have 10 design teams at McGill. So this is kind of unique to engineering, but these design teams build their prototype all year long and compete at competitions every single year. And it's a really good way to get some hands-on experience outside of the classroom. It's also a really great way to develop skills that you might not be taught in your classes. So for example, I'm a chemical engineering student, but maybe I want to learn more about electrical engineering things. I might join McGill Formula Electric and learn a lot. The EUS also operates 4 services. So we have Copy EUS, which is our printing store where you can get posters made or you can buy course packs, things like that. We have Frostbite, so that's our little penguin mascot there. Frostbite is our local ice cream store that we run. We have the Cube, which is our 3D printing shop, and then we have the general store, which is kind of like a one-stop shop for coffee and school supplies and stuff. So this is a great way to get some job experience and also make some money while you're working on campus. These services hire every single year, and they're completely student run. Finally, we have conferences and competitions that you can attend as a US member and as a US delegate. So some exciting things are like the McGill Engineering Competition, which you can compete in any one of the categories. There's like 20 categories you can pick out of. And if you are first or second, you will attend the Quebec Engineering Competition. And if you do well there, you can attend the Canadian Engineering Competition. So it's a really good way to meet people from other schools as well. Engineering Games is similar to eWeek, like I explained a bit earlier, but it's a good way to meet other schools within Quebec. And then we also have different conferences like on diversity, sustainability, and leadership that you can attend as a delegate. And they're held all over Canada. So I know that was a lot of information, but if anybody has any more questions, I'll be happy to answer them once all the presentations are over. Otherwise, our EUS Wiki is a great resource that you can use if you're curious about anything I mentioned today. It has a lot of things like jobs that are available on campus, clubs and committee information, and basically anything if you want to know more about governance, documentation, or just some traditions that we have in engineering. It's a good resource. So we do have a physical office located in the McConnell Engineering Building. We're located in room 7 if you ever want to come visit us. But if you have a McGill email, you'll also get an email from us every Monday outlining the activities that are going on within the society. And if you would like to stay updated on our activities even more, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We also have a website and a wiki, like I mentioned. And then finally, I've put my email there in case you have trouble finding anything. I'm more than happy to help. Thanks.
Thank you very, very much. Wonderful information that has been shared. So now this is the time to ask those burning questions that you may have. We have a wonderful panel on board. So please feel free to start asking questions. You can ask questions via the chat, or if you want, you can just open up your mic and then you can ask questions. Okay, so I see one that I can take that has to do with the recording. Yes, you will be getting the recording because we will send you an email afterwards. Yes, absolutely. So the recording will be contained within the email itself. Okay, so you could also private message any one of us if you want. If you want to ask a private question, a targeted one, you can also do that. And again, feel free to go ahead and type your question. Okay, I have one, and this it has to do with internships. And the question is, how can I start the career path to actually go into an internship?
Sure, maybe I could take that one.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So the Career Center, and if it wasn't shared in the chat, I'll share it now. The website to the Career Center has lots of resources to help you with this. There is a specific job posting website for McGill students. It's called My Future, where companies post lots of opportunities. But there's also lots of other ways to find them. So I encourage you to visit our website, make an appointment with one of the career advisors, and we'll be happy to help you. And it's never too early, like U0, U1, we're so happy to see students. So don't ever feel like you have to wait till you have experience or you have a CV. We're very happy to start with a blank piece of paper and talk.
Excellent, thank you. We have another question regarding small tutorials. Are there any small tutorials with professors? Who would want to take that one?
I can take it. So many of our engineering courses have tutorials and labs built into them. So when you start the process of registering for your classes on our main hub, it's called Minerva. It's the student portal for course registration. You'll be able to see which courses have labs and tutorial sections. Many of our engineering courses do have labs and tutorials built into them. So the tutorials are broken down into smaller sizes. So say if you have a course and there's 100 students or 150 students in them, there might be a couple different sections of tutorials that you can sign up for. So there's smaller groups that are usually led by a grad student and potentially the professor, depending on the course. So yes, there are tutorials built into some of your classes. And I did notice that there was another question about study groups, so registered study groups. As Kayla mentioned, we do have the engineering peer tutoring services, so EPTS. They're linked with EUS, and they are senior students who have done really well in certain courses, and they offer free tutoring sessions for our engineering students. And they have different days for different departments, so there might be a session for software engineering on one day and chemical engineering on another day. They also do prep for midterms and exams, and there's also the possibility of joining a study group just with your peers. I don't know if Asta can talk maybe more about that, but that is a thing that students do. They have their own independent study groups. But EPTS is the main, the formal source of tutoring services in our faculty. And then Central McGill also offers paid tutoring options as well, if you're interested.
Excellent, thank you. There's another question. How flexible is the faculty relating to taking classes outside of the faculty, such as electives and or liberal arts classes? This is a very good question.
Yep. So in your program, there's certain requirements that you have to take as part of your engineering degree, and they're called complementary studies courses. If you look at the curriculums, again, those are linked in the FAQ document. You'll see when they're scheduled for you to take them. Those are courses that fall under the humanities, social sciences, management, and you're required to take them. Typically, each program has between 2 and 3 of these courses that are required. Other programs have elective courses, natural science courses that you have to take. Again, they're all listed in the curriculums. If you want exposure to non-engineering courses outside of those requirements, you have the option of doing up to 6 credits of courses out of interest every semester. So say if you're just really interested in political science, you could take a couple of courses out of interest, or if you're interested in learning a new language, you could take those courses out of interest each semester. And there's also the option, like I spoke about earlier, of adding a minor to your program if you want just further depth in a certain field, whether it's engineering or non-engineering. A minor program can give you that as well.
Excellent, thank you. There's another question regarding how can a student know if they are in U0 and U1, and maybe talk about the difference between U0 and U1 for those who probably came in late and missed out on that.
Sure. So U0 and U1 are just the designations for your year of study, basically. U0s are students who are starting at the freshman level. So you're coming in and you're starting with your freshman courses, you don't have any transfer credits, and you're starting clean at McGill as a freshman student. Students who enter as U1 students have bypassed those freshman courses, either because they're coming from a Quebec CEGEP or because they have a large number of transfer credits, say from A levels or AP courses or placement exams, or a combination. That's the distinction. And you will know what you are, U0 or U1, once you go through the registration process. And there's an unofficial transcript via Minerva that you have, and it'll be clearly indicated on that unofficial transcript if you're U0 or U1.
Excellent, thank you. There's another question regarding our first year general engineering courses, or I will study the major I chose directly. So general engineering versus the specific career path.
So in our faculty, we don't have sort of a general option. You're admitted into a specific department or school. So for example, you're admitted into civil engineering. Once you're admitted into a program, you are it depends on your admit type. Are you coming from a Quebec CEGEP, or are you coming from outside of Quebec high school? that determines where you start in your program. So Quebec CEGEP students start automatically in their engineering courses because they're not taking any freshman courses. They've completed those at CEGEP. If you're coming from outside of Quebec, you're starting in the freshman year, which is a general year of courses like chemistry, math, physics, and some elective courses. And again, if you have transfer credits, you might have a smaller number of freshman courses to complete than other students. It depends on your transfer credits.
Thank you very much, Amanda. And this is a really good question. How much free time do engineering students have? I like this question. Who would like to take it? Kayla, there we go.
I think that one's for Asta. I think she's probably has the best.
Yeah, I can answer it. I think it really depends on the student. Obviously, the number of courses you're taking, your extracurriculars, if you have a job and all of that. But if you want a good estimate of how many hours your classes will take, you can look at the number of credits. So usually it's 3 hours of work per 1 credit of class per week. So if you're taking, let's say, 4 classes that are 3 credits, that's 12 credits times 3 of hours of work. And then if you're in extracurriculars, you can always ask the people leading those teams how much time you need to designate for that commitment. But yeah, you can make yourself as busy as possible if you really want. There's lots of opportunities to stay busy.
Exactly. Thank you very much. There's another question. This was a private message. When may we enroll in minor programs, and do we need to fill out a separate application?
So there is an application process for minors. It's linked in the FAQ document that Patricia provided earlier. Typically, we recommend that you wait at least a year before adding a minor, although there are exceptions depending on your situation. But we typically advise students to at least complete 1 or 2 semesters of study before they add a minor, just so you can acclimate to the university setting, to your program, to the course demands. And once you're ready to add a minor, it's a form that you fill out. It's a web form. All of the minors are sort of automatically added by the McGill Engineering Student Center, with the exception of certain professional programs such as management and I believe the School of Music as well. They have separate application processes and eligibility requirements for their minors.
Excellent, thank you. There's a question regarding meal plans and what is the food situation. So I'll take that very quickly. So yes, in residence, remember you have guaranteed residence your first year, and meals are included when you pay for your housing. So you don't have to worry about cooking unless you want to worry about cooking. Then we do also have a residence where you can actually cook. But for the most part, meals are provided. It's part of the housing fee that you will pay. Another question, I am cognizant of the time. We have 2 minutes left, and I just want to finish up these questions very quickly. What is the minimum credit required each semester for full-time study? This is a very important question. Thank you.
12. It's 12.
Fantastic. How hard is it to be involved in a team, in a sports team as an engineering student? We know. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. This is for Asta.
Yeah, sure. So there's different levels of sports teams that you can join. You can be on a varsity team. You can also participate in intramurals, or you can be a part of other leagues like US Sports that have all variable time commitments. So if you're interested in a specific sport, I would recommend reaching out to Athletics and Recreation, and they can give you a better understanding of that time commitment. But in terms of intramurals, it's, I would say, usually an hour per every 2 weeks, so not too much. And then for US Sports, it's certain times during the year, but it doesn't usually exceed more than 2 hours a week. So a few options available for you.
Thank you. And I think I skipped a question. Thank you, Asta. Can you double major in a field outside of engineering?
No. Short answer, no. You cannot double major in our faculty, either with another engineering program or something outside of engineering. But you can gain depth in an engineering related field or non-engineering field through adding a minor program or taking courses out of interest.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, and so with that question, I am going to go ahead and wrap up the webinar for this evening. I want to thank you all for coming here. I want to thank our panelists, obviously, for being here with us. And also, I just want to take the time to welcome you all to our McGill family. And we're going to wrap up with a video that you can click on and watch after we log off. And once again, I want to thank you very much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure having you all here with us. And once again, congratulations. This is a very important and exciting new step in your academic career. So again, enjoy it, and congratulations to you and your family, because this is it's a whole process. So thank you once again. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good afternoon for those of you who are earlier in the day. Good morning for those who it's actually super early in the morning. And thank you very much for your time. So feel free to go ahead and click on this link so you can enjoy this wonderful video. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.